Question number 11 is very easy. So it is asking you which extension is used for different applications. Like if you are
Mm,
using for Android application, so Android is APK. It's
mm,
.apk. Um, Usually when we are installing an application in Windows, so it is the extension is .exe. You remember
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
executable file.
yeah.
um,
Mm.
but these web applications which we are doing from Intune, they use appx. This is
DBA.
for Windows, this one. This
Mhm.
one, as I said, it's for Android. This one is for iPhone.
Can you write down uh, next to APX, so
Yes.
we will, is there? Okay.
Yeah, it's there. Intune Mac is used for Mac OS app
Um,
packages. APK is used for Android, and APX is used for Windows app packages.
okay, okay. That's fine then. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, okay, so this one is IPA. This is for which one? For you need to deploy.
iOS.
Yeah, iOS.
Yeah.
This is for iOS app.
APK. Yeah. This.
Yeah, so this one is used for iOS, and this not for iOS. This one is used for MacBooks. You see, like
Mhm.
laptops,
Yeah.
and this one is for mobile devices, IPA.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh, okay, so this one, you have Microsoft 365. If I have subscription that contain user one and web app named app one. So you plan to. Um, App 1 must only accept modern authentication request. So modern authentication request, you need to create a conditional policy, and the conditional policy is that they must use for example, modern authentication, right? Which is the multi-factor authentication. So it is asking where do you set this policy. So is it from you? Will you need to set the condition filter for device platforms, user risk, sign in risk, or client apps? So have you done this lab?
No, not yet. I
No.
just complete my the first three, four labs. Yeah.
Okay, this one is here. If you go to Intune Admin Center, and let's go to policies where uh, devices and conditional policies, create a new policy. It wasn't here. Okay, it's here in conditional access. So if you go to policies, where was it? Conditional access. Here, devices, and then you go to conditional access. In conditional access, if you create new policy, just name it any, give it any name, then select users. So you can select users um, from here, and let's say users, I want to select this user, for example, because it is asking here user
Mm.
one. So user one, let's say it is let's say Aaron Nicholas. I'm selecting this one, and then conditions. These are the conditions. So you see user risk. So the
Mm.
condition is user user risk is not applicable because user risk is looking for to set a condition policy if the user is at risk, and we define here the risk
Mm.
based on the authentication level they are using, for example, the password or the device setting they're using. So if the user is at risk, then it will block access. Otherwise, it won't allow. So user risk is not applicable. You see here, user risk is not applicable. So
Yeah.
we don't do this setting at user risk. Sign-in risk is also not, because if you see sign-in risk level is generated based on all real-time risk detection. So it's again related to something risk. While we here we are asked to set a condition. You need to block only legacy authentication request to app. So it is, you are setting a policy to access a policy to access an application, so the policy is for accessing an application, and for that you need to set from client apps. So if you
Mm.
click on client apps, you not configured, and here you can configure the client apps, and if you see the explanation here, the description, control user access to target specific client applications not using modern authentication. So this one is the most correct one. This one is, if you configure this policy, then
Mm.
the user one will not be able to access app one if it's not using the modern authentication. So the correct answer would be A, client
Client.
apps.
Yeah.
Okay, this one I don't understand this question.
Yeah.
Um, it's just it is just saying that all users, you need to configure Microsoft 365 apps to meet the following requirements. Enable the automatic installation of WebWave 2 runtime. So this is the application. It will be installed automatically and prevent users from submitting feedback. So it is saying that these are the options where can you set this policy, and is saying the answers are device configuration and policy management. So uh, from these two options you can set these conditions, but I can't relate this question to any lab. Okay, this one here is asking, you have 10 computers that run Windows 10 and enrolled in mobile device management. Mobile device management, it's Intune.
Yeah. Intune.
Yeah, MDM
Oh,
or Intune is the same thing.
okay.
You need to deploy the Microsoft 365 apps for enterprise suite to all computers. What should you do? So, if you need to deploy an application to all computers, where would you put the application? Where would you add the application?
What
Y-
should-
the main differences between Azure AD and Intune. So Azure AD is used
Is
for,
identification. Yeah.
yeah, is for more with the users, adding users, managing users, devices, and so on. And Intune is more related to policies, applications,
Configuration. Yeah.
yeah, these kind of things.
Mm.
So from Microsoft Intune Admin Center, create a Windows 10 device profile. So if you create Windows 10 device profile, that won't install any application, right? So
Yeah.
creating just a Windows 10 profile doesn't make any sense, that it will install Microsoft 365 apps. From Azure AD, add an app registration. I told
I,
you Azure
yeah.
AD we don't use for applications and so on and policies. Again, from Azure AD add an enterprise application.
Enterprise.
So these two are also incorrect because again Azure AD from the Microsoft Intune Admin Center add an app. So this one is the correct one because I told you Intune is used for configuring policies, applications, adding, installing, deployment software.
So whatever is Intune questions are there, so related to, policy configuration, we have to
Yeah,
look for only that.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not, no, we don't configure
Not,
these things from Azure
yeah,
AD. It's
yeah,
from Intune.
yeah.
Okay. You use Microsoft Intune to manage devices. You have a Windows 11 device
Adil,
manager.
can I ask one question regarding 14?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this Intune, that for the Azure AD and the AD are different, like for the cloud and on-premise devices, right? So for is this Intune is actually for the cloud one or the local ones?
Both of these are cloud ones. Azure AD and Intune both are cloud ones.
Okay. So
Yeah.
for the so this is not dealing with any local
No.
device.
No.
No.
No. Local one is Active Directory.
Okay.
Yeah, that is denoted by ADDS, Active Directory Domain Server. Whenever you see Azure AD or Intune, that is all cloud based.
Okay. So the Intune is actually for related to all the apps on the
Yes.
Microsoft.
Yeah, to install the application, Windows deployment, resetting the devices, device configuration, policies, all these things we do in Intune, right? Device management specifically, and in Azure AD we mostly deal with the users, and also devices. We can also create policies, but it is more.
But it's for the user only, and we can
Yeah,
manage the only users,
yeah,
like we can make a group, and if you
yeah,
assign a group to license,
yeah,
so yeah, we just play around with the groups only, yeah.
yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Groups and users.
Users, yeah.
Intune for the apps and policies.
Yes.
Policies are related to the apps, right? Not
Yeah.
for the policies related to the users.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, question number 15 is what I was saying. You have Windows 11 device, uh, device 1 enrolled in Intune, and device 1 has been offline for 30 days. Now, you need to remove device from Intune immediately. So, when it says immediately, if you go to the lab and you see the retire action, so you have delete action, retire action, fresh start, autopilot reset. These you don't find these options. I believe these two you can find there, and also you find another option, wipe. Let me go to Intune device. Okay, devices. If I go to devices and all devices, let's say I'm gonna open this one. This is the devices. Okay, one more thing I'm gonna tell you. I told you about the prerequisites. I said that we have to do all the labs, yeah, before we continue with the labs. We already have completed these labs, and these are cloud based. When you reset your lab, it's
Yeah.
not gonna reset the cloud ones, because the cloud ones, they are on different platform. Yeah, they are not on your local. So these are, we already have completed the cloud cloud labs. Okay, you see in the device management, you see here, retire, wipe, delete. You also say restart, and okay, fresh start is also there, and some more options as well. So if let's say, if you say which one to choose, retire action. Let's say what is in the retire action. So retire. So you see the description. Are you sure you want? Okay, this will only remove company data managed by Intune. The user's personal data is not removed. While it is an objective here that you don't want, you need to remove device 1. The solution must ensure that device checks in again. Any apps by Intune be removed. User app, personal data, and OEM installed apps must be retained, so they will not be removed. So if you see that if you choose retire option, it will not remove the personal data.
Personal data, yeah.
Yeah, and the users, okay. Running company data is not supported for Windows devices that are joined to Microsoft. Any Win32 apps deployed. Okay, but if you see here, this one is not immediately removing the data. It's sending a remote request, to remove the data. If you look at delete, so delete, it will immediately delete the data. If you delete the device, you will no longer be able to view or manage the device from Intune portal. The device will no longer be allowed to access your company's corporate resources. Company data may be wiped from the device if the device tries to check in after it is deleted. So company data will only be, you see, there is no, they didn't mention that personal data will also be deleted. So it's only the company, and here it says that you need to ensure that that the data is the device is immediately removed. So the best option to choose is a delete action.
Delete action,
Okay. So this one, you have Microsoft 365 subscription that you use Microsoft Intune. You use Microsoft Intune to manage devices. You need to review startup times and okay. This one is saying endpoint analytics, but I couldn't find endpoint analytics. Where endpoint analytics is in Intune. Endpoint. Okay, hold on. Let's see endpoint analytics. They said okay, reports. I think in reports, yeah, endpoint analytics. If you go to endpoint analytics, you can see here the devices. I believe we haven't. Okay, so you start. And so startup performance, you see here, in the question is saying that you need to review the startup time and restart frequencies of devices. So what should you do? Azure Monitor, Intune Data Warehouse, Microsoft Defender for endpoint analytics. So I would say these two are not related, even just by looking Intune Data Warehouse and Microsoft Defender for endpoint. If you take a look at these two, Azure Monitor and Endpoint Analytics. So Azure Monitor is more like, I would say, administrator thing. It doesn't relate to endpoint, end user. Endpoint Analytics is the correct option, and if you go here, you can see endpoint analytics, and in endpoint analytics you can find startup performance, application reliability, all these things. You see device performance, startup process, restart frequency, all these things you can find here. What in this is, let me show you. This is Azure, Microsoft Intra Admin Center. This is Azure, Azure portal, and if I find here endpoint analytics, there is no endpoint analytics in Azure AD. Yeah.
Nothing related to Azure.
No, endpoint analytics is only in Intune, not in Azure AD. Okay, so for these questions, I told you straight away jump to the question. What is asked in the question, in this answer area. So this is the main question. These are this screenshot is for supporting information. So The question is asked updates that contain fixes and improvements to existing Windows functionality um, can be deferred. It definitely can be deferred for 30 days or will be installed immediately. So uh, if you look here, so these are quality updates. These are called update rings. Update rings are set by the administrator. These are not from the Microsoft. Okay, update rings are set by Microsoft, by the administrator locally. So if you see the update settings, Microsoft product updates allowed, Windows drivers allowed, and quality update and deferral period is 0 days.
Mm.
Is 0 days. So the quality related, if you see fixes and improvements, what is this? What do you think? Fixes and improvements is quality, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is said that 0 days. So when 0 days, you can't defer these updates. So that means that they will be installed immediately. Yeah, it,
Mm.
the first one says can be deferred indefinitely for indefinite time. So no, you can't defer it. Then it can be deferred for 30 days. That's also not correct
Okay. Yeah.
because that is set to 0 and will be installed immediately. Uh, the second one is update that contain new Windows functionality will be installed within of release date. Now, new Windows functionality updates, and these are, if you see feature update, these are feature update. Feature means when you are installing new drivers or new applications or something, so they can be deferred to 30 days. And if you see here, 1 day, 30 days, 60 days. So 30 days. Well, so 1 and 60 days are not even mentioned anywhere in this screenshot. This one is also clear, yeah?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. This one, if you see, we also did this, I think in, what do you call it? Reports, where we collect the reports. Event manager. In event viewer. So if you look at event viewer as well, and in Intune, both, so it is asking which information will be collected. So let's read the question. You have a you have computers that run Windows 10 and connect to Azure Log Analytics workspace. The workspace is configured to collect all available from the Windows event logs. The computers have the logged events shown in the following table. So, which events are collected in the log analytic workspace? Success, information, audit success, and error. What do you think? 3. You have to choose 3 if I give you a hint.
The computer have
Success, information, audit access, error. You see, error is always there. Error is always
yeah.
there. Success is also there when you implement a policy or something. So it is says whether success or there is error. So
Yeah.
these two are always there. Now,
There.
information and audit success. Information is also there. Audit success is, I think these are
Is
something.
completely different. That one is audit different is completely different from this question. I think.
Yeah, so there is no audit success.
Yeah.
I believe we can do it on demand if you want it manually, but by default, automatically success, information, and error, these logs are being collected. So if you choose 1, 2, and 4 only, so that is the correct option. Where was let's see, go to this one is Azure, yeah. Azure event logs. Where is it? uh, log analytics. Okay, you have to create and leave it. So just remember, you can only you will only see success information and error logs. Okay, question number 19. You have Microsoft 365 subscription that contains 10 Android enterprise devices. Okay, each device has corporate owned work profile and is controlled in Microsoft Intune. You need to configure the device to run a single app in kiosk mode. Okay, so this is Android device, and you need to configure the device to run in kiosk mode. So which configuration should you modify in the device restriction profile? So users and accounts doesn't affect the device, right? It has nothing related to the device. General is also, I think, no. um, I can't give you a clue why not, but it's not more related. And system security, yeah, it's not related to system security. It's more like policies, whether the device is compliant or not compliant.
Because they ask for the device, so
Yeah.
yeah.
So device experience, if you go to the device experience in Intune, let's go to devices, all devices. I think we will have to add a device. There is no Android device, so you will need to add a device. Then um, all devices. First, you need to add a device. Yeah, I don't know why the device option is not there. Device, add a device.
Kiosk one not showing, isn't it?
Uh, oh, this is Azure. This is Azure. Where is it? Azure.
Intune, you have to go in Intune.
Yeah. Oh, this, yeah, here. So devices. If you go all devices, Android. I don't know why I can't add device. Okay, anyway, we'll see that. But you need a device experience. Even device experience is for Windows kiosk when you are setting up Windows kiosk device. So you can do that in device experience. Okay, you need to ensure that question number 20. You have Microsoft 365 subscription that contains 500 Mac devices, yeah, enrolled in Intune. You need to ensure that you can apply Defender for endpoint antivirus policies to the Mac devices. The solution must minimize administrative. For what should you do? What is asking? You need to ensure that you can apply Microsoft Defender for endpoint antivirus. So on board Microsoft OS device or Microsoft Intune Admin Center, create security baseline, install Defender for endpoint. I think there is no
You have
Defender
to
for endpoint.
just memorize.
Yeah, for Microsoft Intune Admin Center, create a configuration profile. So I have set the explanations here. A configuration profile is a policy that you can create and deploy to Mac OS devices to configure various settings, included antivirus settings. Okay. Yeah, when you create a configuration profile for antivirus policies, you can specify the settings that you want to apply for the devices and why the other options are not correct. So onboard, yeah, definitely, if you onboard the Mac OS device to Microsoft Purview compliance portal, it's not gonna achieve the goal. And then from Microsoft Intune Admin Center, create a security baseline. A security baseline is collection of settings that you can apply to a group of devices. However, it is not recommended way to. Okay, so it is just like if you want to apply some settings on devices not related to antivirus settings.
Yeah, but yeah, in the B showing is create a security baseline, but they are not asking for security. They ask for the
Yeah,
antivirus.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So that B is not correct.
Yeah, B is also not correct. And install Defender for endpoint. Let's say install Defender for endpoint on Mac OS device. Installing Defender for on the Mac OS device is a necessary step, but it is not sufficient to ensure that you can apply. Okay, okay, like even if the Defender is installed on Mac OS devices, still we don't know if the device is the device has installed uh, the endpoint or not.
Yeah.
So the recommended one is option is from the Microsoft Intune Admin Center. Create a configuration profile where you can set this policy that the
And
that that the
antivirus.
device should have installed Defender. If there is no policy, even if the device has installed or not installed, we don't know. We won't know that if the device has installed the Windows Defender or not. So the best way is to create a policy.
Mm.
Yeah. Let me charge. Okay. You need to. You have an Azure AD tenant and 100 Windows 10 devices that are Azure AD joined and managed by using Intune. You need to create Microsoft Defender firewall and Microsoft Defender antivirus on the devices. So which two options are you should perform each correct answers? Okay. To configure Defender antivirus, create a group policy object and configure the Windows Defender antivirus setting. So a group policy is more, I would say, an Active Directory.
Yeah. Is
Uh,
related to directly. Yeah.
to configure Microsoft Defender Firewall, create a device configuration profile and configure the device restriction settings. This one is appropriate, but let's see device restriction settings. What it says, you need to configure Microsoft Defender Firewall and Microsoft Defender Antivirus. So option C is to configure Microsoft Defender Antivirus, create a device configuration profile and configure endpoint protection. C is I think correct one. How many you choose? Two. Uh, to configure Microsoft Defender Antivirus, create a device configuration file and create a device configuration profile and configure the endpoint protection.
So one is for Microsoft Defector Firewall and Microsoft
Double
Defector
pause.
Firewalls.
I think C and D. D and E. Okay, D and E. It is not still obvious that which one is correct. So see that what they say, D and E. So D to configure Microsoft Defender antivirus, create device configuration profile, and configure device restriction settings. Okay, you have to configure device restriction settings. Let's go device configuration. Where was it? In Azure AD device. I forgot where you